Well, now, before we came on air, I spoke to the film director Ken Loach, who has voiced his support for the Orgreave Truth and Justice campaign and called for an inquiry into the policing of the incident. I began by asking him what similarities he believes there are between the policing of Orgreave and Hillsborough.
I think the police falsifying of evidence, falsely charging miners with violence and riot, and of course the cases fell and the miners were compensated for that wrongdoing.
So where are the differences with Hillsborough?
Well, first of all, this was a political action. This was violence by the police, falsifying evidence by the police, wrongly charging miners by the police in pursuit of a political aim. That was Margaret Thatcher's aim to destroy the miners' union and close down the mining communities.
Now, then, what this distance after the event, with so many of the participants dead, can be achieved by reopening it?
Well, who knew? Did the agreement that this should happen go up to the cabinet? Who gave the police permission to pursue this policy? Because it went on. You see, it wasn't a mistake that led to a cover-up. This was a conscious policy. So who gave the police the green light to pursue it? Who indicated to them that there would be no comeback? That's what we need to know.
You are talking the whole time about the police as if it was every single officer. The thing that we found at Hillsborough was that whilst the leadership was indeed of the police, was indeed about cover-up and the rest of it, there were some very brave police who did in fact get into the stand, did try to give resuscitation, etc. But was that never true in the miners' strike?
Well, I think the police were set at odds with the miners. I think there was a culture of it's them and us. So it was different in that respect. And the other thing is that
But as a result, it is going to be much more difficult or was anyway, much more difficult for the miners to get justice than it was. And God knows, Liverpool's Hillsborough found it difficult enough to get justice. Do you really think now that Orgreave and any of the other misdoings in the South Yorkshire coalfields can win justice?
I think the miners need justice, yes, of course, but we all need to know what was done in our name. We need to know how the police were sanctioned to do what they did. But, John, can I say one other thing? The Hillsborough came out after 27 years. The truth about Orgreave and the whole miners' strike will come out now.
Will it? Why are you so confident?
Because I think the truth in the end comes out.
I mean, obviously it's open now to the Home Secretary, who has said she will consider what to do to have a full public inquiry. Is that what is required?
It needs a full public inquiry, yes. And in the end, the truth comes out. But you see, they can afford that because at the time, the media were compliant in the government's version of events. And the strike was defeated. And the communities were smashed. And the miners were beaten into the ground and the pits were closed with no other work. So they can afford, yes, it's all in the past, that's history. The critical thing was that the story was not told at the time because it was politically charged.
Did you ever think you'd live to see South Yorkshire Police ultimately brought to book?
I don't know.
26 years?
Yes, I think sooner or later you have faith that the truth will out. When that happens, goodness knows.
Well, now, we did ask the Home Office and South Yorkshire Police for an interview, but neither was available.